Hey guys, project-zodiac here, and I'm back with another video, and I'm so glad that this has finally arrived. This is my unboxing of the newest album from one of my all-time favorite musicians, Ben Howard. Yes, I know that the cover is a little bit weird, and sorry for the glare with the window, but we'll be getting to that pretty quickly. For those of you that don't know, I'm gonna be actually traveling, so I was actually worried that this was gonna arrive while I was out of the country, which means that I wouldn't been able to do this unboxing until August. Um, right now it is the very end of June. I believe it is June 28th. Um, so yeah, it is. It's. I'm just glad it arrived before I leave next week. Um, so yeah, also gonna be doing a review for this album, but it's a written review, and that's gonna be added as a link to the inside of the description. So definitely check that out. Also definitely follow me on Twitter, which is also in the link below. And I'm gonna be uploading this a lot later than when it actually is, because one, I still have to write the review. Uh, and I'm gonna give like a like mini review at the end of this video. But two, also just because I have already recorded a lot of videos that I want to be releasing before I get to this, some older videos. But yeah, so I'm just excited that this album is finally here. Again, this is one of my all-time favorite musicians, and I'm just so glad that his newest album is here. And we'll be talking about that as we go through the video. I don't want to make this too long, because a couple of my videos have been long, and I just want to take care of some things today. So let's just straight off go with the cassette tape. So I bought the signed bundle. Actually, so let's just look at the signed art print. So as you can see, it's just a simple art print. You could buy this art print on Ben Howard's website, but the signed prints, I believe, was part of a bundle. So we've got Ben's signature here, and for me, he drew a heart, which is pretty cute, pretty cool. For some people, he drew like hi. For some people, he didn't draw or write anything. But yeah, this is pretty thick cardboard. It's really, really good. And we just got this cute little question mark dude, which is pretty cool. So yeah, don't know why it wasn't a signed album, but signed bundles are pretty cool. Sorry, signed prints are pretty cool. I know a lot of people don't like them, but honestly, I kind of do. Like, you can easily just put this inside of the sleeve, and because it came with it. So I don't know. I kind of like that a little bit more. It keeps the signature, let's just say, not cleaner, but safer from damage. Um, so yeah, that's pretty interesting. From now me collecting vinyls for the past few years, I noticed that they'll either sign on the album itself, or and then they'll send it to be shrink wrapped, or it just gets sent to them and they'll sign it and it doesn't get shrink wrapped. And then I also noticed that a few times they'll include a separate album sleeve with that being signed, and then sometimes they will just include a print. I think honestly my favorite is definitely the um, getting it signed on the album and the print, but I am leaning more towards getting the print as my favorite form of signature, just because it's a nice little extra artwork as long as it's something different that's not the same album work. Um, and yeah, that makes it a lot more collectible, I guess, in my opinion. Um, so yes, this was the signed bundle. So it comes with the print, the album on vinyl, on CD, and then on cassette as well. Let's go with the cassette first. It's pretty simple. Again, I've said this in a few other videos that have cassettes in the bundles. I don't really have a cassette player, but it is nice to have, try to support them. All right, so we got a different artwork here, which I do like that we have something different, and it is probably like a good alternative artwork, in my opinion. So it's got like a slug here, and what's really cool is that like the eyes form kind of like teardrops in a way, and then but they are kind of like the eyes for the name of the album, which the name of the album is It? So I kind of find it funny because again the musician's name Ben Howard, or the band's name Ben Howard, even though it's also the musician, which we'll get to in a little bit if you're new to Ben Howard. So Ben Howard, is it? Um, I don't know. It's just kind of cool. It's like, oh yeah, I'm Ben Howard. Oh, you're Ben Howard, is it? Um, I don't know. It's just a little joke, I guess. I'm not very good at that, but this is really really cool. Like I don't really like that it's just a super clear cassette deck, but I love the label on this. I mean, just look at how reflective that is. It kind of makes me think of some nature vibes in a way, but also some like metaphysics in a way. It's a little hard to explain. Um, and it's just so beautiful, this green. It's definitely like a forest green, but metallic, and it just looks so cool. Um, so yeah, that is actually really really. Oh, that's awesome! Check out this. So we got the little question mark dude, all on the inside. That's new. It's pretty cool. So yeah, I do like the strip here in the middle. That's really really cool. Um, so again, this is a really good alternative um album art, I suppose. And yeah, I just really like how this looks. It really, this green does have like earthy vibes to it. Like the color palette, like I said, like nature and metallic as well. And that kind of has a very good color palette to describe, kind of like the atmosphere of the album. But honestly, the atmosphere of the album is more nighttime than daytime, but earthy at the same time, but also very metaphysical at the same time, which we'll get to towards the end when I talk a little bit about the album. But because the album's been out for a little while now, so it just arrived. Oh yeah, and then in the back we got some rain clouds or a bunch of balloons, however you want to see it. I'm seeing it as a bunch of rain clouds. And then we've got the songs. So we've got 10 songs here, which is all pretty cool. All right. Now let's go on with the CD next. So we've got Ben Howard, the new album. Is it? Includes Couldn't Make It Up, Walking Backwards, Days of Lantana, and it includes a fold-out poster. Which is pretty cool. So I have already reviewed, like quickly reviewed my initial impressions with the singles that were released for Ben Howard. So definitely check those out. But in terms of the album itself, I love the album. I don't know where it sticks as in terms of my rankings for Ben's music or Ben's albums, but there's some really really good songs in here. Also, real quick, right before we open this, you'll notice that this is blue. So we got like 3 versions of album covers. Now, there is a blue background for the vinyl as well, which I do prefer over the red, and I'll explain why a little bit later. Um, I do, but for the signed bundle, it was only with the red background, and I think the colored vinyls as well were only with the red from at least the store. Um, but you know, at least it's like another variation on it. So I guess yeah, it's 3 different covers, but still, I would have preferred the blue for the vinyl one. So yeah, let's just open this up. We got a blurry picture of Ben over here, and then we got a cute little picture of Ben with his new dog that he said in an interview that he's now got a dog and he stopped smoking as well, so he's feeling healthier, which is really good. And I love like how there's this like line here in the background and it just connects with the grass, so that's pretty cool. Um, and then let's take a look at what's on this side here. Okay, so I guess this is the poster. And I guess that this is also lyrics. Okay, I guess I thought it was gonna fold out a little bit more. It's pretty cool. We got Ben here, a little question mark guy. Oh, this is sweet. He says for Agatha, which is his girlfriend. And then we got some notes over here. So yeah, I'm not gonna be going around this in a circle. But yeah, for those of you that do want to read it, you can pause it and go through it. And then in the back, we've got a huge circle of lines, and I have no idea where to start. Okay, it's over here. So we've got official lyrics, which is pretty cool. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of like a mess trying to figure out like where one ends and the other one starts. It's pretty cool that they did this because this is pretty different. But yeah, so it will just keep going around, and then like it will start the next song eventually. Because over here you see here like song number 3, Days of Lantana. And then, so as I said, Agatha and I, yeah, so again, he made a song for his girlfriend, which is pretty nice. He's made a few of those already. So that's pretty cool. So I guess that's the poster. We got the disc. So yeah, my favorite Ben Howard album is Noonday Dream, which is his 3rd album. His last album, Collections from the Whiteout, was pretty fun too. And I don't really like the disc. There's like no disc art. But yeah, that's the disc, the CD. And then Collections from the Whiteout was really good, and there's some amazing songs on that. But album-wise, it does feel a little bit random. This one though definitely has a more structured theme, and that was the point of Collections of Whiteout. So, but yeah, so this one's a little bit more of a structured theme, and here we have it, Ben Howard, the new album. And it looks like we also get a poster with this, and it is a marble vinyl, as you can see. And then in the back, we got the little snail dude. Kind of sad that we don't get the raindrops or the clouds or balloons, whatever you want to see that as. But it's all cool. It's all fine. So, for those of you that don't know, Ben Howard, as I said, is one of my all-time favorite musicians. This is a folk musician or experimental folk musician. And when I said earlier that the band is also called Ben Howard, that's just because his band is him and a bunch of his friends, and they basically he's won many awards and has a big fame in the UK as well. And he kind of lets his friends work, basically have a chance in the spotlight as well. So there's different variations of the band. So when it's Ben as the center, it's just Ben Howard. And then when it's Mickey, which is a backup guitarist and backup vocalist, when he's the focus of the band, then that's A Blaze of Feather, which I have done an unboxing for, I believe, here. And then we've got India and for Tender Central, and then Richie for R.D. Thomas. So there's about 4 versions of the band. The band is mostly structured with Ben Howard and A Blaze of Feather, and then Tender Central and R.D. Thomas, they kind of just help out here and there. But still, it is pretty nice that they do that. Kind of upset that this wasn't a fold out or a gatefold, but it's all good. But yeah, so the entire band itself and all of their formations, I just love their music a lot. Their music just resonates with me in so many ways. So yeah, I'm just really glad that we got a new album. So this is Ben Howard's 5th studio album. And yeah. Okay, so we got a nice fold out poster of Ben with his dog, and that's a big hill that they're going up. Doesn't fold out. So it's basically the picture on the disc, which is pretty cool. Not bad. And then we got the slip cover or the sleeve, which I'm gonna have to change. Well, before that. So this is just the lyrics. Yep. So this is just the lyrics. And then over here we got the same things on the CD. Gonna make it up. And for Agatha, yeah, it's not bad. And then for the vinyl itself, it's a single disc album. Oh, I love this. And I'm glad that they kept like the green earthy tone. It kind of actually works with the marble that they went with for this particular one. There was a bunch of other variations in colors, but on the website, on his particular website, which is where I bought this from, I think this was the only one. So yeah, I'm glad that they kind of kept that like green earthy color from the cassette tape. My only complaint, and like it works, I don't know, I kind of wish there was maybe a little bit more brown in the marble, because there's a little bit of some hints of brown, as you can see like right there, but it's very, very faint. It's more like a gray color. But yeah, this actually works really well, and it's such a really beautiful marble color. um so yeah, I really like it. uh it's just really cool. So let's take a look here. Side A for Is It. Okay, and then for side B, and yeah, so very beautiful looking marble vinyl, and I'm really excited to play it on my system today. But yeah, so this is the fifth studio album. Just some quick complaints. So the album cover is not like any of the album covers for the band. It really sticks out compared to everything that they've released in terms of album covers. Um, and honestly, it's kind of creepy. It's kind of scary. And a lot of people even attacked the person that actually designed the album cover. Like they were able to figure out who it was, and they started attacking him. And I kind of felt bad for the guy. Uh, but yeah, I'm not a fan of the album cover. I'm gonna be honest. Like if it was for something else, sure, like a different musician, but for Ben, it's okay. Um, so yeah, I kind of do wish that, and here's the name, that it was a little bit different. Like even this would have been a good main album cover, I think. But honestly, there's a picture, because I guess Ben made this as like a big like air ball, like plastic ball that that like you fill it up with air. So he kind of made this, and he's kind of like holding it above his head. I really wish that that was the album cover, because then they could have included this thing with Ben in it. And that picture actually looked pretty cool. But for this just being it, it's a little bit creepy. I don't like it that much, but it's fine. I've gotten used to it for the most part. I do like that, again, like the snail, these kind of look like teardrops, and then this kind of makes me think of like a mustache in a way. But yeah, so it says that the album name Is It, and then we got the question mark over here. So it is creative in that way. I'll definitely give it that. But the reason why I don't like the red on this particular vinyl one, and why I wish it was on the blue, is because I mean it's already creepy, but then with the red it just makes it more scary. So that's mostly why. That I wish it was a different shade, sorry, different color for the background on this vinyl. Now, so this particular album, just as a mini little review, Ben is young, he's in his 30s, and unfortunately, last year in 2022, he, I guess, suffered two mini strokes. Um, and he kind of started looking at life differently after that. It was like something like a blood clot in his brain or his head, I think. I forgot exactly where it was, but it was definitely in his head. And thankfully, he recovered, it seems, and he's better now. And I guess that they were already kind of working on these songs, but then after that, and after he recovered, they really worked on it. I guess the story that they're saying is that they spent about 10 days finalizing the album and working all of that, and changing a few things around. But a couple of the things on this album does reflect that particular scenario. Two songs in particular, which do definitely reflect that, is Couldn't Make It Up, which I did talk about my review for that. Oh, I just noticed it's a little dent up here. I don't know why that happens. And then, where is it? Total Eclipse. So, Total Eclipse is the shortest song on this album, and it's just super weird. Um, but it definitely does create that confusion aspect that he describes he was feeling, where he couldn't even talk for a while. Um, so it definitely did help shape a lot of the things here, but it didn't just help shape that. A lot of his albums in the past, he has written about like from his experience and just the world around him as well, and his thoughts on a lot of things. Um, but for this one, I guess you can say it's probably a little bit more openly personal because, for example, you got um, Walking Backwards and Days of Lantana, which Walking Backwards he says is about, like understand that, sometimes you might feel like you're stuck, but you're doing fine. You're moving forward. It's okay if you feel like you're taking a step back on some things because you're gonna keep going forward, take a moment to reflect on things. Um, so it definitely does touch on things like that. And then Days of Lantana is about him spending time with his girlfriend and walking around and um, walking the town and seeing how the people around him live and the small community he is in and all that stuff. Life in the Time, it's about being stuck in a lot of different things. Moonraker, it's really about hiking and, seeing the moon and all that stuff. But what I'm trying to say is, for example, with Richmond Avenue, that's a song that he made dedicated to his dad. So he is being a little bit more open about a lot of the meanings with these songs, and he kind of has explained how after those two strokes, um, he really started to see things differently. Like he stopped smoking so that he could be healthier. He started noticing little more things about life and the people around you, and taking that not taking that for granted, and like taking that as like a moment of like, this is perfect, this is beautiful. So that's kind of what this album tends to reflect, those little moments with people. And you see that a lot in Walking Backwards, Is of Montana, Richmond Avenue, Spirit, um, Little Plan. You get to see that a lot, and it kind of shows how, like, even though Ben is young, he is in his 30s, he has grown up a lot compared to like his first album, and he's been through a lot, but it just shows that he's still learning about life and the things around him. And it's a beautiful thing, that he realized, oh yeah, like I gotta, take a step back and like look at the little things. So it is a very beautiful album because of that. And as I said earlier, there's this very earthy sense to it, but there's also a very spiritual sense to it and a very liberating sense to this album as well, which I really, really like. Um, for example, in Walking Backwards, he talks about some spiritual visions. In Days of Lantana, he talks about going to church with Agatha. In and then in, for example, Spirit, he starts questioning like, okay, everything is, in the spiritual world. So like what I'm feeling was already something that I was supposed to feel because it came on from a spiritual plane. And that is something I also love about the band, is that they do touch on spirituality across all of their works. In some formats of the band a little bit more than others. For example, when it's a Blaze of Feather, they do definitely touch on spiritual concepts a lot more, metaphysical concepts a lot more. For the Ben Howard stuff, it's like it's there, but it's very subtle, and he doesn't make it a very big focal point as a Blaze of Feather does. But there are a few songs where it's very noticeable that there is a spiritual understanding with even Ben when he's releasing music. And I think that in this album in particular, there's a lot of that, a lot more of that than a couple of his other music, or a couple of his other albums as a whole. Um, So like a few songs here and there is one thing. Like they have many songs referencing spirituality and um, metaphysical things as well. But as an album as a whole, I think that this is the one where it's the most where Ben's being the most upfront about it. And so it's a very beautiful thing, and that's something that I can relate a lot to as well. Um, so yeah, there's just an amazing soundscape here, just like with his previous albums. Like it feels like it's a combination of everything that he's done before, because each of his albums is a different style or a different atmosphere. And it is something that's definitely with each album is like, yeah, it's got the elements of everything before, but it's something new as well. Uh, Collections from the Whiteout, for example, for a little bit more spacey vibe because there's a lot of satellite sounds and a lot of metaphysical music in it as well. Whereas for this one, for Is It feels a little bit more earthy, but at the same time a little bit more um so how can I say this? Collections from the Ride Out felt a little bit so just as a quick rundown, every kingdom felt very, traditional folk. Um I forgot where we were, felt a little bit more like experimental electronic folk. Um Noonday Dream felt like atmospheric dream like folk. Collections from the Whiteout felt kind of similar to dreamlike with a hint of space mystery folk. This one feels more dreamlike space um with like nature folk being added into it, because there's just this like very earthy vibe to this album, and it just sounds so good. Um and at the same time there's also a very summery vibe. And Ben is also a surfer, and that also relates a lot to his music, like a lot of water vibes and a lot of water um, metaphors and terminologies. But and so like the surfing sound does carry on across all of his albums and his songs as well, or a lot of them. And there are some of that vibes here as well. But this one definitely feels a little bit more towards like um being in a dusty like place with like and when I say dusty place, I mean like a place that is really hot and dry, and there's still a lot of forest and a lot of things around you, like very earthy. That's what I mean. But it also feels very night. um the best way to explain this is looking at, I forgot where we were, where that was a lot more emotional darkness, and this one feels and like cold night darkness, and then this one feels like a very warm happiness night time, like a good night, like not something problematic or scary. It just feels like something peaceful, like you're walking out at night watching the stars or watching the sunset fade away so much so that it's like literally about to become nighttime, like that scenery, that imagery, and it's very relaxing. It's very, very, very good. Um, in terms of some of my favorite songs from the album, definitely Couldn't Make It Up is a good one, but I'm just gonna mention the big ones. Walking Backwards, Days of Lantana, um, Moonraker, and then Spirit. I just love those so much. Real quick, Life in the Times. I did mention this in my review for that one because that was a single. It was originally supposed to be on his third album, but I guess they never included it there, and many years later, they decided to include it here. It's definitely reworked to fit more the vibe of this album compared to Noonday Dream, but I do wish one day we'll get to hear what the original version sounds like, but hey, at least we actually got it now. And the only reason that we know about this song being part of Noonday Dream is because there was a train leak. So I do definitely recommend you watch my review on that single so that you can hear the story a little bit better. But yeah, so it's a good song. It's definitely, I would say, one of my least favorites on the album. And I was thinking that Richmond Avenue was gonna be my least favorite when I was hearing it for the first time. Um, and I was really excited for In Terms of Sense and also Total Eclipse. However, the more I kept listening to the album, I'm like, okay, Richmond Avenue, I understand it now, and I'm liking this song so much. It's such a good song. Because when I first heard it, I did think it was kind of my least favorite. But again, I was listening to it on in order. Um, but when we got to In Terms of Sense, it's a fun song. It's a good song, but honestly, it is my least favorite of the songs on this album. I wish it could have been something totally different, and I think that that could be a little bit more because of the instrumentation on it. Um, if it does sound a little bit more similar to Sage That She Was Burning from his previous album, but just like the electronic portion, except that they took that and just used all of it. Um, and I don't know, it just didn't work so much for me on this one. Um, and then yeah, the so yeah, Richmond Avenue is amazing. In terms of Sense is just okay. And I do wish that Total, like I was so excited for Total Eclipse because I love the moon. Um, but when I saw it was gonna be the shortest song, I was a little upset. And then when I heard it, I was just like, "What is this?" Because this is so weird compared to everything else. But I love it. Again, I like the song Total Eclipse. I know a lot of people were felt off put by it, but um, yeah, it's just a very fun, quirky song. So, but yeah, my least favorites is easy to rank. It's definitely In Terms of Sense, Life in the Time, and then Total Eclipse. Um, but in terms of my favorites, as I said, can't really rank my favorites right now. But Walking Backwards, Days of Lantana, Moonraker, and Spirit. Um, I just wish that the screaming portion in Spirit was a little bit louder and a little bit longer as well. But yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna definitely be hearing this a lot more, and I'll be writing my review on it. So definitely read my review because this is just like a very quick like mini review on it. I do definitely like this album a lot. I definitely do appreciate where Ben has been going. Again, it's always this is just a band in general that I just relate to so much in so many ways. And I'm glad that he's still learning things about life, which is very, very beautiful, and he's including it into his art. But yes, guys, please go listen to Ben Howard. Please go listen to this album. I still don't know where it ranks in terms of my Ben Howard stuff, like in terms of like my album rankings for him, but the songs here are amazing. So much so that Walking Backwards and Days of Lantana and Spirit are definitely some of his all-time best songs ever. Moonraker, you can kind of put it close to there. Little Plant as well. I don't know, like it's really hard, but those three in particular are definitely one of his all-time best songs. So, but definitely listen to his music and the band's music as a whole as well. I think you guys would like at least some stuff there. There's something for everybody. So yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I know I rambled on so long, but this is one of my all-time favorite musicians, and I'm just so glad that this finally arrived. And now I'm gonna go and listen to this after I take care of some stuff um, on my record player because I'm so excited. So yeah, sorry I'm gonna be uploading this a lot later, but I am gonna be uploading this with the review for sure. So definitely please read the review. The review is gonna be like an in-depth album review, and then there's gonna be like another page in the same post that's gonna be a track by track review where I review each of the songs in detail. Um, so and that's gonna be a little bit different than my reviews for the singles, just because for those it's just like out of my thoughts. Whereas when I'm writing them, I'm listening to them and I'm really like saying exactly how the song is and all that. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please read that review. Follow me on Twitter. I'm gonna be releasing a very big project pretty soon. Um, so I really hope, and I'll be teasing it more on Twitter as well. Um, so please follow me there, and please stay tuned for that big project as well. But yeah, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Rate, comment, subscribe. Definitely go listen to Ben Howard, and I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good day.